Hello Year 9, this is your lesson on equations with brackets. So here's our first example. Now, when we have equations with brackets, we've got two options of what we can take as our first step. Probably up until now, what you will have done is expanded the brackets first. So we do 3 times x, 3 times positive 2. Then from here I can subtract 6 from both sides and divide by 3. In this case though, I can notice that 3 is a factor of 21. So an alternative method I can use is divide both sides by 3 and then subtract 2. So you see we get the same solution, which is correct. Remember, we can check our working by taking our solution and substituting it back into our equation. So 5 plus 2 is 7, times 3 is 21. So I know I've got the answer correct. Pause the video now and have a go at solving this equation using both methods. Okay, so using the expanding first method, I get 2 times 3, which is 6, 2 times negative x, so that's subtract 2x, equals 12. Now I can subtract 6 from both sides, making sure I don't lose the negative. So negative 2x equals 6, and then divide both sides by negative 2. So x equals negative 3. The alternate method, 2 is a factor of 12, so I start by dividing both sides by 2. Then I can subtract 3 from both sides. Now I'm going to divide by negative 1. Let's double check that I've got the same solution with my two methods. Let's substitute it to check the third way. So negative 3. 3 subtract negative 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12, so I know I've got it correct. Now, for the following questions, I would like you to alternate between the methods and decide which one you prefer. So pause the video while you have a go at these questions. Okay then. In this example, we've got 3 and 31. So we can see that 3 is not a factor of 31. I would say it's easiest here to expand the brackets first. So 3 times x plus 3 times 5 equals 31. Subtract 15 from each side. And then divide by 3. 16 over 3 is perfectly acceptable. You might choose to write it as a mixed number, which would be 5 1/3, but you do not need to. If I were to do it the other way, dividing by 3 first, I would have x plus 5 equals 31 over 3. Subtract 5 from each side. Oh. Now I've got to do fraction calculations. Now I would need to write 5 with a denominator of 3. 15 over 3 is equal to 5, and so I get the same answer of x equals 16 over 3. Personally, I think this one is easier than this method, but it's up to you. Also, when I have an answer, a solution that's a fraction, it does make it more difficult for checking, substituting back into the original equation, but it does still work. Pause the video now while you have a go at these questions. Again, alternate between the two methods, see which one you prefer. Okay, in this example, you can see that we've got two sets of brackets. Here, I think it's easiest to start by expanding the brackets. So we have 2 times x, 2 times 1. Now I've got plus in between here, so I can continue with this. 4 times x and 4 times 3. Leave the right-hand side the same. Now I can collect like terms on the left-hand side here. So I've got 2x and 4x. That gives me 6x. 2 plus 12, that gives me 14. Now I have just a straightforward linear equation. I subtract 14 from both sides and I divide by 6. Here I could have started by dividing by 2, but I don't think it's really going to make it much easier for you. So when we have two brackets like this, start by expanding them, collect like terms, and then solve as normal. Again, I can double check if x equals 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, times 2 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5, times 4 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 26. So I know I've got my solution correct. Here I've got brackets on both sides of my equal sign. That's fine. I'm going to again start by expanding. 3a plus 15, 2a plus 12. Now, if you cast your minds back to solving equations with the unknown on both sides, the best thing to do is identify the smallest amount. So I've got 3a's here, 2a's here. I'm going to get rid of the smallest amount. So I'm going to subtract 2a from both sides of my equation. Then I want the a to be by itself, so I'm going to subtract 15. A equals negative 3. Again, let's check our answer. So negative 3 plus 5 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 3 plus 6 is 3 times 2 is 6. So I know I've got that correct. Finally, let's have a look at a question with some negatives. So again, I'm going to start by expanding the brackets. 3 times y. Now this is 3 times negative 3, so it's going to be subtract 9. And I'm subtracting between my brackets as well. So to be careful, I'm going to write subtract, then 2 times y, 2 times negative 4. Now I'm going to multiply this bracket by this negative on the outside. So the first part stays the same, minus positive 2y. Then I'm subtracting a negative 8, so that's plus 8. Now I'm going to collect like terms, so 3y, subtract, remember we need to look at the sign in front of the term, 3y subtract 2y gives me y. Negative 9 plus 8, negative 1 is equal to 4. Then I can add 1 to both sides to get y equals 5. And finally, 5 minus 3 is 2, times 3 is 6. 5 minus 4 is 1, times 2 is 2. 6 minus 2 equals 4, so I've got my answer correct. These are the questions for the remainder of the lesson. Make sure you're really clear. Each of these steps when solving an equation is really important. If you try to do too many steps at once, you'll get muddled up and confused. So make sure you're showing your working really clearly, and if you have any questions, please ask your teacher. Thank you.